array, as we have seen, are of two different types. One is single dimension array, dimensional array.
सर एग्लो की लिख तो आपने अपने पार्टी पीडीएफ
I will send you everything. Single dimension array, and number two is multi-dimensional. We studied two-dimensional. First, we focus on single dimension array. Memory representation of single dimension. Single dimension array or one dimension. So the memory, so internally arrays are stored as a special object. Arrays are stored as special, containing a group of contiguous memory allocation, contiguous memory locations that all have same name. Next is a reference that stores the beginning address of the array element. And number three is a separate instance variable containing the number of arrays, containing the number of elements in the array, containing the number of elements in the. So who is that variable? A separate instance variable containing the number of elements in the array, and the name of the variable is length. Name of the variable is length. This length variable keeps the number of elements in the array, okay, which we have used in our life, right? So let me design a picture. Now what will happen? Say for example, you have defined one array. So you have written a statement like this. Integer, say a, and you are writing a is equal to new. So what it will do? It will create one object, right? So this is the object, which is a, right? And internally this a is an object of arrays. It is basically internally an instance of arrays class. And what it will do, it will point to a memory location, right? So this is your, and there are 5 elements. This is A1, this is A2, this is A3, this is A. The starting address of the first cell, right? The starting address of the first cell is say 0. So the starting address of the first cell is 9000. Okay. So this 9000 is pointed by this variable. Right? Okay. So this 9000 is pointed by this variable, and there is another variable is associated with this, right? And this variable is called length. And it contains 5, right? And this whole thing is called array object. This whole thing is called an array object. Okay. So you can see it in BlueJ also. You go to BlueJ, right? And you can see that the object reference, right here. Object reference, this is integer type of object. Okay. It is an integer type of an object, and when you click on it, when you double click on it, you can see this. You can see the length. The length is 10, and these are the these are the A0, sorry, this is the name of the array is A, right? So A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9. So it is stored like this, okay? So this is the basic conception of a single dimension array, fine? So now we talk about the memory arrangement of array of, this is a basically memory arrangement of array of objects, right? So while writing Java programs involving arrays, make sure to design a test condition that ensures that only valid array indices are used in your program. This will save you from array index related runtime errors. Okay, so this length variable is very much useful. Okay, this length variable is very much useful. Now, my next thing is this: when we write a statement like this, say for example, if I want to access the third element of the array, I will write here A3, right? So my question is that, okay, how it is accessing the third element? How it is accessing third element? Okay. So the internal story is this, okay, the name of the array is pointing to this element, right? The first element. So there is one internal calculation which is going on. So the name of the array plus, right? We write here size of data type, size of data type, size of data type, multiply by index value, So here you can see that this is pointing to 9,000, right? And this is an integer array, right? So size of each cell is 4 bytes. Size of each cell is 4. So first one is 9,000. So second one will be what? Second one, this will be 9,004, right? This will be 9,008. Fine. Then this will be 9,012, right? This will be 9,016. So in this way, the memory is defined. The memory addresses were defined, right? So what you have to do, you have to write here 9,000, and the name of the array represents the base address, right? The name of the array represents base address. What I've said, base address or starting address. So what will happen here? Okay, the name of the array A is pointing to 9,000. So 9,000 is your base address, right? So base address plus size of data type, which is 4, and I want to access the value of 3, right? So I will put here 3. So my answer is 9,000 plus 12, which is equal to 9,012. So in this calculation is done automatically by the Java runtime environment, right? This address is 9,000. So you can access this cell, right? You can access the cell number 9012 to access the information stored over here, right? And if you want to store
the base address is always same.
The base address is always same, but the value will be depend. The value will depend, right? The value of this address will depend upon your RAM, right? Because it depends upon operating system, but when it is fixed for the program, it is fixed. If you write, I think it will show you the address of A here. If you write here system.out.println, if you write here A, it might show you the address. So this is the address. This is the base address. Fine.
Okay, sir.
So this is the base address of.
2D7.
Yeah, it is in hexadecimal form. You have understood na hexadecimal
Yes, yes.
in class 11 when you are a kid of
Yes,
class
sir.
11.
Yes.
So this is how single dimension array works. Alright. So now let's talk about multi-dimension array or two-dimension. Multi-dimension array, not or. We are going to talk about only two-dimension. So in two-dimensional array, you can see two-dimensional array. We can see in two-dimensional array we have rows and columns. We have rows and so when we define the array, when first we specify row number, row, and then we specify column. So this is a basic concept. Say for example, I'm declaring one array here. Say this array is of type short, and this is, say for example, this array is. After new, you have to write down the data type, and then in the square bracket, you have to write down the size of the array. So for example, I have written here 5 and 7. So it means this array size is 5 rows and 7 columns. Right? And this square bracket you can write either in front of the identifier or after the identifier. It is not going to be a matter, right? So here I have written it before the identifier. You may have written this after the identifier also. You can write it in this way or in that way. It's not going to be matter. Okay. So this is one array, right? And there is a difference between writing the square bracket before the identifier, and there is a difference between writing the square bracket after the identifier. If you write these square bracket before the identifier, so for example, you have written something like this: short, you have written the square bracket here. Say you have written here, say p. So p is equal to new, right? And you have given the thing 5 and 7. Same size I have given. And now you have declared a variable q, right? So what will happen? If you write here q, and if you try to write here, if you try to write something like this, q equal to 1, it will produce an error. Writing here a method void, and in test function I'm declaring the array. So for example, short. You can use any data type. I'm using here short, and then I'm writing here pay equal to new short. I have written here, say 5 and 7, 5 and I want to declare a variable here q equal to, say starting value is 0, so I'm putting it here, it is 0. So now when I go down, it is producing an error, right? Then it is showing that it is incompatible types cannot be converted to short double dimension array, correct? So this error you will get when you declare the square bracket before a pay variable. Okay. So whatever variable after that you will declare, it will be treated as a double dimension array. Fine. But if you use this construct instead of using this construct, if you use this construct, fine. What you do here, you change it, right? You will not receive the error, right? So this variable is an array, this variable is an array, but this variable will not be treated as an array. Okay. So if you define the square bracket before the variable, then what will happen? Whatever variable you will declare after that, those also will become that double dimension array or a single dimension array. Or if you want to define three-dimensional array, all the variables will be of three-dimensional arrays. Okay. So for that reason, I always say to the student, write all the square brackets after the pay. Don't write before the pay. Because in school, all the teachers are habituated of writing the square brackets before the pay, and they don't know the reason, right? And what will happen is sometimes some students define the variable after defining the array in the same line, then it will create a problem. Okay, then what the teacher will do, if it is creating a problem, teacher will come to you, they will shout on you, don't define the variable on the same line where you have defined the array, right? You define it after it. Okay, they will not tell you the reason why, what is the reason. So reason is this, ki when you define the square bracket before here, if you define square bracket here, it means that you are defining short square bracket. That means that whatever this is treated as an array type, this is called array type. This is called array type. So whatever variable you will declare in this line, all those variables are array. So you have to allocate memory for the array in the same line or in different lines. Okay, then it will work fine. So this is this is the story behind this square bracket before the identifier and if you define it after the identifier. So many people have asked me this question, what is the problem? And evenly in many interviews also I asked this questions. Many people are not able to answer me. They have said to me, sir, it is not possible to define a variable when you are defining an array in the same line. Okay. So, and some people said it is possible. Then I've said ki I am defining the array in this way. It is not, the compiler is not letting me to define it. So then they said that, you know, you have to define it in a different line and also. So different kinds of invalid reasons people have told me. Very few of them have shown me the valid reasons, right? So this is the knowledge which I want to give it to you, right? So you be sure whatever you are doing it, okay? So this is the idea, right? So here, let me write it here. Okay, this is short type. This is short array type. So this is a normal short type and this is a short array type. So whatever variable you will define it over here, it will be array. So Q is of type what? Short. So this statement is invalid. So this part, so you can define something like this also. So you can define multiple arrays in one line if you use this kind of a construct. Fine. So if you can enhance your idea in this way. Write here short, write this, and then if you can write any kind of variable x, y. So here x, y and z, this all three are of type, all three are two-dimensional array. All three variables are two-dimensional. All three are two-dimensional array. Okay. So that is the basic idea, right? So now we talk about the memory. So in the array, implementation of the two-dimensional array in memory. Let me talk about implementation of two-dimensional array. So there are two techniques here. Fine. There are two techniques here. One is called row major, and another one is called column major. Row major and column major. First, we need to understand that. Row major, what will happen? Say, for example, we have defined the array. This, for example, we have defined this array. So this is array, right? And if we write our information, right? If we write our information, just a minute. So this is one array, right? Here I have declared one array. So for example, this array is integer array. So integer array and equal to new int and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 columns and how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 rows are there, right? So this is 6 This is what we have declared. So this is the array. And if we are using row major logic, then we read the array in this way, right? We read the array. So we can see that, okay, this is written like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are column numbers and these are row numbers. 2, 3, right? And in row major, we read the information in this way. We read the information and then again we come back here and we write the way we write it in. So this is row major. Now let's talk about column. For example, we declared the same array. What we do here, we declare the array integer of a and equal to new integer of. What we can do here, we can insert a table here, right? So here we have for 4 rows and 6 columns. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have inserted this here only. Now you can see that if we write down the row number and the column number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And in column major, we read the information in this format. This way, this way, this way, and this way, and then this way, then this way, then this way, and then this. Right? We read the information in this. So then in your head, why we are studying this, right? So this idea is very much useful when we perform search, right? In double dimension array or two dimensional array. Say for example, I want to reach at this place, right? I want to reach at this place. Then how many cells I have to visit, right? If I traverse it with row major, then I have to traverse this 6, that means 12, 13, 14, 15, and at 16th step I'm getting it, right? How many steps are required? And if I want to traverse in column major, then how many steps? This is 2, 3, right? This is 2 and this is 3. The same, right? If I have to traverse it with column major, then how many steps I will be needed, right? So 4 plus 4, 8 plus 4, 12 plus 2, 14 plus 1, 15 steps, right? So how many steps I will be needing? 15 steps. So in this case, you can see that column major is the winner, right? And row major is the loser, right? So we follow column major, right? In some situation, you will find that a row major is very much useful and column major is taking so much more steps to reach that point, right? So we follow, in that case, we follow row major, right? Sometimes row major is useful, sometimes column major is useful. So it depends upon situation which way to follow, right? So let's study how we can access the address using row major, or we can access the address using column major, right? So I hope you understood the logic how we are accessing the address in row major and column major, right? So
Yes, sir.
so base address is this here. In both the cases, the base address is this. In both the cases, the base address is the first cell address is the base address. So first cell address is the base address. This cell or this cell, right? This cell or this cell is the base address. Is the base address, right? So this is the base address. So there are a few points which we need to keep in our head, right? So base address, we need to keep it in our head. We need to keep it in our head the size of the data type also. Size of data type. Size of data type means the width of every cell. Size of data type or width of every cell or width of each cell, width of each cell. This is what we have to know. Okay, so this is the base address. These are the base addresses and the size or the width of the each cell. Now we have to know the lower bound and the upper bound of the, or we have to know the number of rows and number of columns, right? As we are studying Java, we have to know number of rows and number of columns. Number of rows, number of rows and number of columns also here. Number of columns. Number of columns also here, right? And we have to know the lower bound and the upper bound of the columns, right? So what we have to know, these are important points. Upper bound of rows and columns, upper bound of rows and columns, rows and columns. We have to know. And we have to know the lower bound, right? And we have to know the lower bound. In both the cases, I'm talking about both the cases. Lower bound, rows and columns. All right. So this is the basic scenario. Fine. So these are the things which we have to keep it in our head. Right. So let's decide first with the row major. Right. So let me write it for a row major. Let me use a different color here. So I'm using here a black. So address of row major. How you will identify the address of row major. Right. So for example, this is the element I want to find out, right? So this address is called, here it is called, say for example the A. So name of the array is A, and we want to find out where the ij cell is located, where the ijth element is located. So first is base address. So base address is equal to say B. Size or data type or width of the cell is say W, right? And say number of rows and number of columns, right? So we can say that number of rows is equal to R and number of columns is say C, fine. And we have upper bound of the upper bound and lower bound, right? So upper bound is say lower bound of row is called LR and lower bound of the column is called say CR, right? Upper bound of the rows is called UR and lower bound of upper bound of column is UC. Let me put it here LR, not CR. Let me put it this as LR, else put it as at else LC, lower bound of the columns, right? So this is the lower bound of rows, this is the lower bound of column, this is the upper bound of row, this is the upper bound of column. So now we can write down the formula, right? So first we have to know the base address or the first cell address, right? So we put here, then we start moving. Start moving forward means we have to add. Okay. So the thing is this, to reach this place, what we have to do? So we have to know the number of, rows we have traveled, right? We have to know the number of rows we have traveled here, right? We are traveling number of columns here. You can see this is the 0 column, this is the first column, this is the second column, this is the third column, this is the fourth column, this is the fifth column, right? So we have to know number of columns, right? We are visiting every time, right? And if you can see that to reach this place, this place, how many columns I have to visit, right? So the total number of columns would be here in this case would be say number of columns. So and number of columns would be here. The number of columns is C, and starting from 0, so I have to put here -1. Fine. So C -1. So this is the number of columns, right? So now I have to count how many rows I have traversed, right? 1, 2, and this is the third row I am traversing. So number of rows is R, and it is also starting from 0, so I have to put here. And then in every row, how many columns I have visited, right? So I have visited how many columns? I have visited, to reach this place, I have visited, wait, I have done a conceptual mistake here. This will be J. This will be J, because I have to reach here. So this will be J number column, and this will be I number of rows I have traversed, because I am reaching I and J. So I -1 plus J -1. So this is the thing, right? If I am talking about 3, 4, that means I am talking about 2, 3. I'm talking about 2, 3, right? According to Java, because here row starts from 0, and column also starts from 0, right? So that is why we have to do -1, okay? And now what I have to do, to reach here, right? How many columns I have to traverse, right? So I have to multiply this value with number of columns, that is, okay? And the whole thing, this whole thing will be multiplied with W, the data type, because this represents total number of cells, right? This represents total number of cells, right? Without the width. So this is how this formula is there. So if you supply the base address, and if we are using row major, then we can use this formula, right? And this formula is for, it will work in the programming languages like C, C++, Java. It will work with Python, JavaScript, right? This formula is very much common, because most of the languages uses row major, right? But you can change the algorithm, right? You can use the column major for your own advantage. So for column major, what the formula would be, right, to reach this place, okay? So let me write it here again. This is for column major. So here I am writing A of base address is required, right? And we need here, so to reach this place, what I have to do, I have to write here I -1, the plus, then I have to write here J -1, right? And you know that here we are traversing through rows, all right? We are traversing through rows, so that row is multiplied with the columns, right? Number of row will be multiplied with the column, right, which I have over here, and this whole thing is multiplied with the width of the data type. So this is the formula for column major, correct? To reach this place, this is the formula, fine. So if this is starting, the base address is 0. If you assume that if the base address is 0, right, then what is this address? What is this address in row major? So say for example, this is integer variable, right? And so I am putting here 4, okay? And the number of columns is 6. Number of columns is 6. And we are looking forward for the cell number 3, 4. So we write here 3 minus 1. And because we start from 1 here, according to this formula, we start from 1. We start from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And if you don't want to do this minus 1, if you don't want to do this minus 1, I have done the minus 1 for a purpose, actually. So if you don't want to do this minus 1 thing, right? So you can directly write here 2, 3. You can directly write here 2, 3. So I'm writing it here minus 1 to make it more generalized form. Plus, and then
Sir, how W is becoming 4?
how
W is becoming 4 with.
width, what is the size of integer type?
So 4, yeah.
What is the size of integer type? You have not answered me.
Acha, size of integer type is 4 bits.
That means it is of 4. Width is 4, na?
Acha, in data
Width
type.
is what? Width means what? I
Okay,
have
sir.
written it here. You can see it. You can see it. I have written here. Size of data type or width of each cell is W.
Size of data type. Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So now you can put down the values here. 3, and then here you write down 4 minus 1. So here you write down 4 minus 1. Right, and you close the bracket and you get the answer here. The answer is 12 plus 3, 15. 15 into 4 is 60. Right. So this is at 60th byte. This is at 60th byte. So you can think that okay, this is 0, this is 4, this is 8, this is 12, this is 16, this is 20, this one is 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, and this is 60. Right? Got the answer? Now let's think.
Yes,
Let's do the same thing with column major. Fine. Let's do the same thing with column major. So in column major also I am putting this as 0, this as 4 here, and the I minus 1 is 3 minus 1, and R is here 4, and J minus 1 is here 4 minus 1, 4 minus 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 plus 12 is 14. 14 into 4 is, so answer is 56. Let's start with this. So here, what I have to do, I have to write here 4. This is 0. This is 4. This is 8. This is 16. I'm really sorry. 4, 8. This is 12. 12. This is 16. This is 20. This is 24. This is 28. This is 32. This is 36. This one is 40. This one is 44. This one is 48. This one is 52. And now you can see this is 56. Right. So we have reached the particular cell address directly if we use this formula. Right. So this is how row major and the column major is defined, and this formula is based on few language ideas like C, C++, Java, right? But let's say, for example, in if we talk about general terms, right? So the lower bound can be anything. Lower bound can be anything. Lower bound can be anything. Lower bound can be anything, right? It may be negative. Upper bound can also be anything. Upper bound upper bound is defined in something else, right? So they are defined like this. Let me show you. So if you define the array like A, and if you define it like this, the array will be defined like the generalized term. So your array is defined like this. Say, for example, lower bound starts from 4 and ends at 7. Lower bound starts from 4 and ends at 7. Okay, and the upper bound starts from -1 and ends at. So this is the definition. So now what you have to do? Now you need to calculate what is the length of the lower bound. What is exactly the length of the lower bound? This is representing number of rows, and this is representing number of columns. So this is your lower bound and this is your upper bound. This is your upper bound. This is your lower bound of columns. This is your upper bound of your columns. So now you need to calculate number of rows and number of columns, right? So what we need to calculate? We need to calculate here number of rows, which is upper bound minus lower bound, upper bound minus lower bound, and then plus 1. Okay, so here upper bound is 7, lower bound is 3 plus 1. So answer would be what? 7 minus 3 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So there are 5 rows, right? And number of columns is, number of columns. So number of columns is upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. So upper bound is 3, lower bound is -1, and then we have plus 1. So we get here 3 plus 1 4, 4 plus 1 5. So it's 5 rows and 5 columns basically. But here you can see that the upper bound and lower bound of each row and each means the upper bound and lower bound of rows and columns are specified here, right? So to do this kind of a problem, to solve this kind of a array problem, what we have to do, we have to apply some generalized formula, right? So from the above results, what we get, right? So we get here from the above results what we get. So say, for example, from the above results, from the above formula, we can generalize it. So address of A means address of ij is equal to base plus width n of I minus, right? I minus here, instead of n, what we do here, we put here number of columns. The number of columns is C. I minus, say this is the, you have seen that the lower bound of row is LR, right? So what we do here, we put here lower bound of row, that is LR, right? And what is this C? C is this is C, this is C, this is R. Okay, this is C and this is R. So we need to calculate the value of C before using this formula. Fine. C, in the bracket you put I minus LR plus j minus LC. J minus LC. Understood? So this is what you have to use. So let me show you one problem like this. So this is for row major. This is for row major. Let me write down the column major also. This is for row major. This is for row major. And for column major, it will be like this. For column major, this is for row major. For column major, the formula will be same. It is same. You just have to change a little bit of length is equal to b plus width of say here you apply I minus LR plus, and here we write R multiply by J minus LC, and we close the bracket, and this is the formula for column, right? So I hope you understood the formula. Okay, so let me talk about one problem here. I'm solving one problem.
Sir, LR.
LR, this is LR. This is LR, right?
So
LR.
column. Okay. Sorry.
LR. This is
Okay,
LC. LC is lower bound of column. What you need to use? You need to use lower bound of column. So in this case, this is your LR. This is LR, and this one is L. Okay, see this video 3 times. This is very much important. 5 marks question is in ISC. Okay, see this video 3 times at least to understand this formula, and when you understand it fully, you can solve any of the array based sums. Okay, so I hope you understood this much. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now if you know all these terminologies, then you can easily solve a sums. So let me show you one example sums. Let me change the color here. Okay. Let me type it down. It is easier to type it instead of writing on the screen. So 2D array defined. Achha, when you are solving the normal, say for example the our case, generally our array starts from 0 and ends at always n minus 1 or length minus 1. In that case, the lower bound is what? The lower bound of row is always 1. Right? Lower bound of array is always 1. Right?
1. Okay.
And if you want to use the and if they say that it is starting from 0, so don't use this, right? You can directly put down the row and column value, right? If it is starting from 0, don't put anything here. Just directly put here the values, and you will get the answer. Okay. So now this is a problem. Problem is 2D array defined as A. So I'm taking the same thing here. So A 4 dot from -1 dot to requires 2 word. What the problem is saying? It requires 2 word. 2 words means 2 bytes. Okay, 2 words of storage. 2 words means 2 bytes. 2 words of storage. If the array is stored, in row major form, calculate the address. Given the base address as 100. This is a problem, and we have to solve this problem. So we have got some data. Say for example, we know the value of base address, which is 100, right? And we know the value. This is I, and this one is. So what we have to do here? Okay, we need to know the LR and LC here. So this is LR, right? This one is LC here, right? And this is row major, right? This is row major. So we have to calculate column. we have to calculate number of columns, right? In row measure, we need to calculate number of columns. Number of columns. We need to calculate number of columns, right? And in column measure, we have to calculate number of rows. You can see it here very easily. Number of rows required in column measure, and in row measure, number of columns is required. So we need to calculate number of columns. So the number of columns will be calculated very easily. We can write it here 3 minus 1. I'm sorry. 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 and plus 1. Right? So this is how we can calculate the number of columns. Right? So number of columns would be here. So number of columns is 5. Number of columns is 5. So this is what is required for me. Okay, and now I can easily calculate the value. So A of 6, base address is 100. So here we put directly 100 plus the width is given here 2, right? This is W. So you put here 2, fine. And what you can do here, here we have calculated number of columns. So that is required here. So number of columns is 5. So we put here 5. We know the value of I, which is 6, minus LR is needed. So 6 minus 4. Okay. Plus, and we know the value of J, which is 2, minus, and this is LC is required. So minus 1, and okay, that's it. So now we can calculate the answer. 100 plus 2 common. So 5 into 2 is 10 plus this is 3, right? 13. So answer is 126. Right? So this address of A62 is 126. Okay. So this kind of problem you will get in your book, right? So this is the problem using a row measure, right? So let me show you one problem of column measure also. So let me show you one problem of column measure. Element of the array.
So this is 5-mark question.
This will be 3 mark. Sometimes they will give you 2 problems. One problem from row measure, one problem from column measure, and they will give you 5 marks. 2.5, 2.5.
Okay.
Right. So you do problems because you will find there are many different kinds of problems are present in your book. Right. I am giving you some basic problems. If the array is stored in column measure, if the array is stored in column measure order, beginning location. This is the problem, and we need to find out the solution. So it's very easy here also. So you can see that this is your, you need to identify what is your first LR and LC here. So this is LR, this is LC, right? LC, and this is the base address, which is B, and this is your IJ. This is your IJ, and you need, this is column measure, so you need to calculate number of rows. You need to calculate number of rows. So number of rows, calculating number of rows is very easy. So you need to calculate. So minus 20 minus 20 plus 1. So it will become 41. So number of rows is 41. Right? So now we apply the formula here. So we write here A of 0, 30, and we write here. So we know the value of B, which is 500. We put here 500 plus the W is 1. W is 1. So let me put here 1, and then we write here. The first one is I minus LR. I minus LR. So I is here 0 and LR is minus 20. So we put here minus 20 plus So J is 30 here, so we put here 30 minus, and we have LC is 10, so we put here 10 multiply by number of rows. So number of rows is 41, so we multiply it with 41 and we close the bracket. So we get here 500 plus, so this is 20 and this is 20 into 41. So 20 plus 20 into 41 is 20 into 41. So it would be 500 plus, so 20 into 41 is how much? It will be 82. So 820 plus 20, 840. So 840 and it will be 1340. So answer is 1340. So this is how you can do the sums. These are generalized problems which I have done in front of you. So you go to the back of the arrays chapter, right? In your book, you will find that there are 20 to 25 sums are there. So you need to solve those sums. Fine.
Okay, sir.